Okay, so now let's go ahead and cover our IELTS writing task number 2. We've already covered IELTS writing task number 1, which was the graphical essay, and now we're talking about the second essay that you have to do, which is IELTS writing task number 2. All right, when it comes to task number 2, these are our basic rules we're looking at. You have to write an essay of 4 to 5 paragraphs. You have to write a minimum of 250 words, which is about 18 to 20 sentences. You'll see that the 4 is highlighted. And the reason why is because pretty much you only have to do 4 paragraphs. It's 250 words, and 4 paragraphs will allow for you to answer the question very well and finish on time. And you have to do it all in 40 minutes. A lot of students, it says a minimum of 250 words. A lot of students write too much. They write 400, 500 words, and they think that that's going to be better. The key to getting a very good score is quality, not quantity. All right, quality, not quantity. For most students, they make grammar mistakes, they make spelling mistakes, and so when you're writing 400, 500 words, you're just compounding your mistakes. You're showing more mistakes, you're making more mistakes. All right, and so it's better for you to write less sentences to get between 250 and maybe 300 words, and work on the quality of your sentences, the quality of what you're doing. Your essay is going to have these 4 parts: intro, 2 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. All right? And I'm going to show you specifically how to write the parts for each one. Grading, your grading for task 1 and task 2 is basically the same. You have your task development, how well do you answer the question. Do you answer all parts of the question? That's really important. Do you answer all parts of the question? Right? Do you answer all parts of the question? That's really, really important. A lot of students don't answer the question completely. They don't answer all parts of the question. And there's a big difference in doing that. You have to look at your coherence, your lexical resource in terms of vocabulary, and your grammar level. They grade you in all 4 levels, and so you have to understand that. And it's important to know, well, if I want a 7, what do I have to do to get a 7? If I want a 8, what do I have to do to get an 8? Some specific things about vocabulary. When you're talking about vocabulary, there are 3 areas you need to really focus on in terms of vocabulary. Number 1 is the academic level of word choice. Okay? You shouldn't be using basic baby words, good, bad, happy. You have to raise the level of the language that you're using. Okay, remember it's an English test. Okay, it's not about just answering the question. It's what kind of language are you using when you're answering the question. Okay? Also, synonym language is another area that's important to vocabulary. When I read an essay, if I see students using the same words over and over and over again, that's a problem. People, 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 people. They keep using the same words over and over and over again. And then lastly, being able to show the ability to use topic-related vocabulary. If your essay is dealing with the environment, are you able to use a lot of different vocabulary related to the subject of the environment? So being able to use subject-related vocabulary is important. All right. Now, here's some keys to doing well. And you can pause the lecture tape here if you want to take a chance to look at everything. I'm going to go over some of these. Writing mistake-free sentences, the number 3, writing mistake-free sentences is so important. Right? If you can show the ability to write sentences that don't have mistakes, that really helps out your grade. Writing a variety of sentences, number 2. Very, very important. When I look at your essay, am I looking at all simple sentences? Or do I see compound sentences, complex, correlative, conditional sentences? Am I seeing all the different types of sentences that you have to be able to do? Are you able to extend and connect your details? All right? A lot of students are not able to do that. When they write their body paragraphs, they just give a list of details. They don't know how to extend and explain their detail. All right? That's a big, big difference. Also, academic essays should be specific in nature, not general. When you're using your details and your examples to explain or support your position, you have to be specific in nature. Okay, because also when you're specific in nature, you use better vocabulary. When you're general, you use more general, common words that everybody uses. And the last one that's so important is to make sure that you outline your question. A lot of students don't do that. They don't outline their question before they start, and that's really important that you're able to show the ability to do that. You have different types of sentences. When I say use a variety of sentences, take some time and look through this, read through this, pause the tape so you can look at it in terms of simple, compound, complex. What are these different sentence types? Because I tell students, use these sentence types. And some of you are not sure what is a compound sentence or what is a complex sentence and how do you do it. Here are a couple of examples. But you have to have a variety of sentences that really helps out your grade a lot. Of course, you have your transition sentences, adjective clause, sentences. You also have your correlative conjunctions, and also demonstrating the proper ability to use parallel structure. Right? So you want to show a variety of sentences, because if you do that, you're showing the grader while you're answering the question. You're showing the grader that your English level is high, and that's a good way to be able to do that. All right, so those are some of our basics dealing with IELTS writing task number 2. And now let's go ahead and move on and get into covering the different question types that you have to do for IELTS writing task number 2. I'll talk to you soon.